He is one of the top fitness models in America. Greg Plitt is here today. He was an Army Ranger when he was discovered in a bar in D.C. One of those stories, being discovered in a drugstore and grocery store. Exactly. And now you can see him on the cover of all kinds of men's fitness magazines and health and fitness. Fitness RX, Muscle and Fitness. Pleasure to have you here today, Greg.
It's good to be here.
I say that anybody with the name Greg is always welcome on this show.
I agree. I agree.
So, but again, yeah, you hear these stories, about people who were discovered in the drugstore or something, or walking. But actually, I had read on the internet that you were discovered walking down the street in New York, but you said that's not right. It was actually in D.C. in a bar.
No, I can't believe everything on the internet, I guess.
You can't? Boy, there goes that whole myth right there.
No, it was a funny situation. My mom's an interior designer, and I guess she sold so many whatever fabrics. She had a one-night stay at a Marriott, and she's like, well, I have to use it by a certain date. What are you doing this weekend? And I'm like, well, I'm just in town with my buddies and stuff. I just got back from overseas. And she's like, well, do you want to use it? I'm like, sure, we'll just get the nearest hotel to the nearest club we're going to go to and, have fun. So that's what we did. And the gift certificate came with a $100 bar tab or whatever. So I was sitting at the bar, kind of just, passing time. Happened to be the same place where there's a convention for a bunch of different agencies and whatnot. And
right place at the right time.
Exactly. The paths crossed, and a guy came up to me and he's like, hey, how about you come to my room and take some pictures? I'm like,
see, that's where I always think this kind of thing goes. Because, like I was in high school once. Well, yeah, I was in high school. Yeah. But we were on a trip to New York once.
Right.
And this woman was all excited, or a girl actually, we were like 16 at the time. Because she was walking down the street and somebody came up to her and said, hey, you should be a model. Here's my card.
Right.
And I'm thinking, he's going to say, I'm thinking it's either porn or it's come back to my hotel room and we'll take some pictures. Right. And okay, so you went back to the hotel room.
I've seen both sides in this industry. I've seen like a legit side. There's a lot of sharks out there and everything else. But I mean, to live a life and never have any regrets on anything is a good life, I think.
And you thought you're an Army Ranger, you can handle the situation.
Right. Well, I didn't go up to his room and get pictures and everything. But I got his information, and I made a trip up to New York, and within 4 months, covers started coming out. So it happened real fast, which is bad because now I want to keep happening fast, and it doesn't work that way.
Takes some time.
But it's, if I never would have tried that, then where would I be? So yeah, there's risk involved and there's failure, and it's kind of like you take yourself out of your own comfort zone, but it's important, I think, and I think everyone should live that way with kind of no regrets. I'm not saying be stupid. There's a fine line between.
Sometimes people use that as an excuse to try to kill themselves. Do the riskiest thing to get. I think if you, to shorten their life. In other words, and I think, well, really, if life is short, maybe you should do something to extend your life instead of end it. But anyway,
you always hear if your time comes when your time comes. You can't control that. And there's a funny story. I was up at West Point, and I was on a skydiving team there. And when you jump, you have this thing called a cypress. Or if you jump out and you hit your head on the wing or something, you go unconscious. The thing will, read how fast you're going. If you bleed through a certain level, it'll pop your reserve. Well, I wanted to see if it worked. And so I jumped out without pulling, and sure enough, it worked. So it wasn't my time then.
Yeah, wow.
But anyway.
I've heard the stories about what happens when it doesn't work too. Well, I don't know. When the chute doesn't open.
We did this one jump into the stadium. We jumped football for all the games. Being the bigger guy, I was the first guy out. It's a 4-man stack. It goes off your weight. So the first guy pulls, and then the second, third, fourth pull, and you all land together, and it looks good for the crowd. Well, I pulled a little low, and when I pulled low, my cypress fired too. So I had a main out, which was crap because I didn't pack it right because we were rushing. And then my reserve came and opened up, which slowed me down, opened my main up. So I had 2 good canopies, and then they came together and collapsed on each other.
Oh, wow.
And I had to pull them away, cut my main away, and it was weird because, from 4,000 feet up, the stadium looks like a little square. But at the
and all of a sudden it gets bigger.
Yeah, and when I was trying to cut through my main, I saw section 42 as a family of 3, and I was like, this is getting a little
ready to reach out for the sandwich. And
yeah, I was hungry, some popcorn on the side. But
yeah, no, well, you're lucky you knew what you were doing too, because I would have been in their lap.
Yeah.
Permanently implanted in the stadium, I think. But,
not a good thing.
So, well, I know you're actually you're living in New York now, I believe, right?
I am, yeah.
But you're here in LA to do a commercial?
I'm doing some commercials. I got a few fitness shoots and some other stuff, just I'm looking to move out this way. So before moving out here, I want to get a foundation started and get some different agencies worked and stuff.
And I believe you're working with Icon Men, which is
I am.
some of the,
Yeah,
fitness
and it's
guys.
going really well so far. I'm really happy to be a part of their organization. Yeah.
So, well, I guess, you can't have somebody, a fitness guy on the show without, people want to know, how do you get in this kind of shape? So, I mean, did the Rangers get you in this kind of shape, or how did you?
No, it's funny because in the military, it's a totally different, I mean, you have, if you're a great runner, it doesn't mean you can swim 40 laps, There's different types of aerobic strength and anaerobic strength, depending on what skill, what field you're in. For me, like, and what I mean that is, like, in the military, it's all about carrying a load on your back through a distance to get to a certain point in order to fight then. So you're not worn out. If you're worn out to get to the fight, you're in trouble. So you got to come in shape. So it's a lot more cardiovascular, a lot more all your running, body weight, working out, and everything else. I fell in love with working out way back when.
So not so much size, you're saying it's more endurance and cardiovascular?
For the military, yeah. It's nothing about size.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that because you're a tall guy. You're what, 6'1"?
6'1", right.
6'1", and you weigh what, 97, I think you said?
197, yeah, this morning.
Somebody, and I don't know if this is true or not, this is why I'm asking you to find out your take on this. He told me that, at least like in the Navy SEALs program, I think, and stuff, that usually the smaller guys end up, I mean, shorter, maybe they're built, I don't know, but the shorter guys tend to do better because he said the bigger guys, it's too much strain on the body or something, or I don't know. Is that true or not? I mean, is there a height advantage or disadvantage?
That kind of thing? Yeah, I mean, it's gonna change your outcome maybe 3, 4, 5%, but it's all up here. Mentally tough is what you have to be, and you go through so many situations, like in Ranger School, for example. I went there in the best shape of my life, and there's some other guys that were probably not as good a shape. Well, after 10 days of that, we were all in the same shape. Wow. We were all broken down, no sleep, no food.
Or whatever you call it. I mean, is it called boot camp for the Rangers? Or
well, it's just it's different phases. It's 70 days if you go straight through, and you go through like a jungle phase, like a mountain phase. But what I'm trying to say is that you're going to get to a point within the first week or two where your body's going to be broken down. You're going to, and they want that. They want to more or less kind of put you in a wartime situation where you have to lead men in a situation on a different operation with no sleep, with no food. They're pissed off and everything else. And you have to control that. I mean, it's all leadership. But you're hurting too, and it's all mind over matter. And if you can just stay focused on whatever path you start on, then the physical part is neither here nor there. And it's amazing how strong your mind is. But yes, there are. I mean, short, stocky guys can road march. And they can put a load on their back and go forever. Really? Whereas a tall, lanky guy can run forever. So there's advantages, disadvantages. But if you want to get wherever, there's a path there, and if you put your mind to it, you'll get there.
And so they're waking you up at 5 o'clock in the morning and everything and all that kind of stuff.
They wake you up. They take a machine gun and start unloading rounds, at 3 in the morning, and you just went to sleep at, 15 minutes before.
Great way to wake up in the morning with a machine gun.
Yeah, but you
jump under the bed? Is that that's what I?
No, you're outside in the mud. You don't have a bed, so to speak. But it's all about how tired you are. I mean, you can get a great night's sleep on this floor here if you're tired enough. If it's all relative.
If you're tired enough, I believe it.
But it's long hours, but it's rewarding hours. You're working with people every day, and you're in charge of them. And there's no greater honor, I think. That was my real love in the military.
Okay. Well, we'll be back in just a minute with fitness model Greg Plitt, finding more about how you can get in this kind of shape. Is this you? Do I have the right photo? Or am I just grabbing a random photo? Okay, we are back with fitness model Greg Plitt, and if we can get a close-up on this. Here he is with a gun, looking very military. I don't think I'd mess with him. You see that there? That's right. And we've got one more. One is military. This one is military, and that one's not so military. But okay. So again, I guess I just want to find out, what's your workout routine now? Now that you're out of the military and you can do whatever the hell you want, what do you do?
Well, a lot of the cut factor comes with your diet. In order to get into that shape you want to get into, there's 4 main factors, and they all carry the same weight. One is obviously your workout routine, your cardio, running you're doing, and everything else, your diet, and then how much sleep you're getting. And I mean, if you don't get enough sleep, your body's not going to recover, and it's not going to rebuild. Because basically, every time you work out, you're ripping your fibers apart, and you need time for them to grow back. And when they grow back,
how much sleep do you get then every day?
Well, I'd love to get 8 hours, but that never happens. You know, I'll get anywhere from like 3 to 6. But
3 to 6, really?
But there's sleep rest and there's active rest too. I mean, you know, during your day, if you're doing something where you're watching television or something, that's rest. But it's also active rest when you're out there. You know,
it's pretty easy to sleep when you're watching TV, right?
Right, exactly.
These days, it's. Do you believe in? I believe in 5-minute naps. Do you believe in 5-minute naps?
No, because I can't get up and can't get back up in 5 minutes. But power naps are great. I mean, I used to do them a lot. I mean, if you are that kind of person where you're going to close your eyes and come back up in 15 minutes, they're wonderful. I used to do them a lot at school. But I like to stay down for the long haul. I'm hard to get up.
But
in the
3 to
morning.
6, though, that doesn't sound very long to me.
No, it's not. But I mean, that's just, you know, life itself. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
What's ideal and what's realistic is two different ventures.
Now, you mentioned food, nutrition, which is definitely my downfall, and I mean, I need to work on that more than anything. But I saw, I think on your website, or no, in one of the magazines, you say you eat crap all the time.
Right.
So you can eat crap all the time, and still,
Yeah.
why can't I get in that kind of shape? I eat crap all the time.
Being somewhat hypocritical here.
Yeah.
I'm a strong believer that it's not really what you eat, it's when you eat it. More or less, if you can eat, if you're going to cheat early in the day, so your body's burning that off, and by the end of the night, if you can go to sleep on an empty stomach, you're going to do wonders for your physique.
Okay, see, I like that, because now, do you eat bigger meals in the morning then, and then, because, you know, some people tell me, for instance, I like to eat a big breakfast, and then usually I won't eat, I eat after like 4, 5, 6 o'clock at night.
Right.
And people tell me, oh, you should eat small. I hear the small meal thing all the time.
Right.
But they'll say, oh, you should eat till like, you know, every 2 hours all day long till you go to bed. But for me, I don't want all that food in the evening. I'd rather eat more in the morning, and then, but so does that's more of what you're doing, is more the big meal in the morning?
The guys that are
and then-
eating like a lot of small meals every day, they're trying to keep something in their stomach the whole time. So when the body needs energy, it's going there and attacking the food source instead of attacking the muscle mass. Basically, if you bulk up and get jacked up, your body doesn't see all that mass as something attainable, something to hold on to. It sees it as an energy source. Tap into at will if you need. And you're trying to prevent that. So you always need something in your body for it to feed on. But for normal people, I say normal people like fitness athletes and, you know, everyday business people, I would say, you know, this normal 3 meals a day.
3 meals
but
a day.
shut your meals down at the end of the night, where if you can forget about dinner and the whole social eating, if you can.
That's the hard part.
Well, so many people, they go out to dinner late at night and they eat and they have the wine and everything else, and what do? They go home and go to sleep, and all that food is sitting right there.
Yep.
So your body burns all the carbs in there throughout the night.
I have
and then stores
instituted
the
a new
fat.
policy, because I tell you, all these, what really gets, you know, does me into is all these business lunches and stuff, or for meeting me before the show and stuff. So from now on, I have a policy. When people say, can we go to lunch or dinner? I always say, sure, there's a Whole Foods. Would you like to go to Whole Foods? And then I swear to God, that's what I've been doing. Because before that, we'd go to the Gardens or something to get these. And anyway, I love that restaurant. But you eat the portions. I would come out of there feeling like I was going to die every time, because, you know, you just gorge yourself on the food.
Right.
So now I'm like, okay, you know, let's go to the salad bar at Whole Foods, and that's my idea of a business lunch for Ballard. So
If you can sit down at a table and leave the table somewhat still hungry, you're doing good. Tricks of that is drinking water. I mean, the water is going to expand your stomach to make you feel like you're fuller than you are. You know, in an hour or two, you're going to feel hungry again because you're going to pass that water through. But I mean, there's tricks and trades. I mean, you've got to eat. You know, so many people go on these crash diets, and what they do is like, all right, and they're going real well throughout the whole day. You know, then like 3, 4 o'clock comes, and they're like, I'm starving, and they're driving down the street, and there's the Golden Arches, and they pull in there, and they just kill the whole diet. But I mean, if you proper plan like your meals, what I'll do on Sundays, I'll go to the supermarket and I'll make, you know, like 30 sandwiches, you know, chicken breast, low carb, and I'll pack them all up. And then before I go off to work, whatever, I'll grab a few. So when I'm hungry, the convenience of good food is right there with me. So I'm not pulling into the gas station and getting crap off aisle 2, you know?
that's what, I think it was Sean. He's another fitness guy we've had on the show from time to time. And he always tells me, I think it was Sean, who said on Sundays, he makes all of his food for the week and he stockpiles it. But I hate to cook though. I can't. The idea of, I mean, that's great that you make, but like making 30 sandwiches, I would be.
Well, I'd make
one sandwich and not eat it and I'd be out the door.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm being a little facetious when I say 30. I don't quite mean that, but you know, you can make them just for the next day. You know, just like Mom used to do when you went to school. You know, the brown bag.
That was
lunch.
a nice way of doing it, by the way.
Yeah. Mainly, I just try to eat, like, you know, white meats. You tuna fish, any fish, chicken, turkey, that kind of stuff. Stay away from you know, the greasy stuff.
Red meat, yeah.
Also stay away from sugar. If you can stay away from sugar, you're doing good. I mean,
how do you stay away from sugar?
You drink water. I mean, you just get used to it. I mean, if you can say to yourself, look, people eat for two reasons. One, to fuel your body, which is the reason why you eat. Well, then a lot of people eat to satisfy an appetite, and that's the one that blows them up a little bit.
Eat
they wonder why. And also the term diet. Everyone's like, oh, I'm going to go on this diet because this summer I want to look good in a bathing suit. Well, there's no such thing as a diet. I keep
telling myself that, and summer's halfway over this year.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look good for next summer, I guess. I don't know.
Right. Well, what's a diet? You know, you're going to get in shape in the summer and then go back to your old ways and blow up again? I mean, it's a transformation of your life, you know, and you're just going to have more energy and you feel healthier. And
so everybody tells me that when you give up the sugar and all the junk, you know, that you don't miss it or you feel better. And I'm just trying to get to that stage,
You do miss it.
You know?
You do miss it.
You do miss it.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
I knew you missed it. I knew you did.
But also, pretend like you got a balance scale here, right? You get all the, you know, you got your sugars, your sweets, your alcohol, your party life, all the sins of the world, all the great things that everyone loves, right?
Oh, you want to start talking about your sins now? This is gonna get good.
And then on the other side, you got your health. You know, you work out real hard in the gym, and you get that natural high, and you put that over here, and you start seeing results. As soon as you start seeing results, you're addicted to it. It's like going to church every day. You got to go. So next time you go to eat that candy bar, you're thinking about what it's going to do to you, and the enjoyment, the temporary satisfaction of the taste of it, doesn't compete with the long-range goals you're trying to do, and you lose that muster for it. You lose that desire to have it, and then you put it down, and you feel good about yourself, and so you get a little confidence in yourself. And once you get confidence in yourself and who you are and your ability, you're unstoppable.
No, I think that's so true, because when I get down to the weight that I want, my weight usually ranges from like 180 to 200. I'm in the 200 phase at the moment. But when I get down to 180, though, I will not, like when I'm 200, like, what does it matter? Another cookie, you know, it's hell, you're 20 pounds overweight anyway. But when I get down to 180, then like you said, I'll put it, I won't touch it, because I'm like, hey, I got down there. I don't want to, you know, until the holidays come around, but that's a different story. You know, but I know what you mean. It is, when you finally get on the scale and you think, hey, yeah, you know, it's where I want to be. But
and when you're 180, you feel great, don't you? You're alive, your days, I mean, I guarantee you, like, your conversations with people is more inspiring, I mean, everything.
But when you're at the 200, then you're like, gee, that really sucks.
It feels like
and it's such a pain to take it off, you know? It's easy to put it on, and it's a pain to take it off. So what percentage body fat are you?
I would say I'm probably around 4 or 5.
4 or 5,
yeah.
Wow.
I haven't been tested for a while, but I think you got to be in the single digits to start seeing, like, you know, abs, and everyone has the abs. They just have a layer of
That's why I can't see them. Yeah, I know.
I think you got to be down.
If I get below single digits, I might be able to see them.
Right. I mean, for men, for women, they have a lot more natural fat, you know, with the ovaries and everything else. So, you know, they're probably around like 14%.
14.
You know, but.
And that's low. That's cut.
That's very low. Yeah, it's very low. I mean, they say basically if you're under, you need 3% in order to live, or 2% in order to live, something like that. And if you get below that, then, you know, health hazard.
Well, so what is, tell me about your ab routine while I'm going to try to see if I can find some of the photos here that show your abs for us. But, so I guess you do what, these are like hanging, for that. This is for abs, right?
Yeah, that's abs.
Lower abs.
Basically,
you get a close-up on that. Here whoops, there. Okay. Yeah, again, that's more than a 6-pack. Let me count here. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like a 10-pack or something. I don't know.
Basically, if you take your abs and you take this a 6-pack, right? You got your lowers, your uppers, your middles, your sides, right? Anytime, if you're laying down flat, anytime you're bringing your legs up to your stomach, you're working the lower region. Anytime you're bringing your stomach, anytime you're crunching your head to your stomach, you're working the upper region. And then anytime you're like kind of twisting back and forth, you work on the side region. And then you also work the obliques and the serratus and the different side walls. But a lot of people, what they do when they do abs, they sit down there and they do, you know, 30 crunches, you know. And that's working a portion of it, but there's a lot of different facets.
So you really zero in on each specific area?
Yeah, I mean, to get to like a certain level, I mean, it's easy to get to 90%, harder to get to 95, and it's really hard to jump that last few percentages.
So what kind of numbers are you talking here? If 30 crunches isn't enough, unfortunately, what do you do?
It all depends on your current status, Everybody's different.
Well, I mean, what do you do?
Well, I work abs at the end of every workout. Abs is the one muscle group I'll do every workout at the end. I'll do it for 10 minutes. I'll hit it hard.
Wow.
But it's 10 minutes straight. I mean, I got a cycle, and I'll probably do, if a set of 30 for one set, I'll probably do about 25 sets in that 10 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
So it's pretty fast, and it's a high pace. It's
Okay, and so 10 minutes, wow, that's, because at the gym they have some of these ab classes that are like half an hour or something. And,
right, and there's a lot of rest in between and stuff, but I mean.
So you just go nonstop.
Yeah, I'm not happy doing it, I'm not smiling, but I am smiling because I know I'm doing good, so I just look to the 10-minute mark, and then I'm like, all right. Next day.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, it's like actually like right now, my stomach was rumbling a little bit, but that feels, like when it feels good when you're hungry, because yeah, it actually does feel good now, because like I said, I just got to lose 20 pounds and I'll be happy. But we'll be back in just a minute with Greg Plitt telling you more about how you can get in this kind of shape. We are back with Greg Plitt, fitness model, talking about how he got in this kind of shape. And this photo here, if you can zoom in on, actually this one is, or actually no, this one. He is 210 in this photo, but you said you're 197 now, so you lost about a good.
Yeah, I'm 210 there. This is probably 195.
195.
Next.
Okay, wow. Yeah, because see, well, you said everything just got a little bit smaller, but yeah, you can't even really tell, but there's a difference, and that's 10 pounds, so I guess you're just in that good a shape. But, so, we were talking about steroids and how, doing it naturally and all of that. I mean, you have done all of this completely naturally to get in that kind of shape?
Yeah, I've never used anything. I've been propositioned a few times, but I never have. And
so what do you mean, like somebody comes up to the gym and says, hey, you want to use this or something?
Yeah, or they think, because of the shape I'm in, that I know someone that can get them something. But I'm in the military, we are piss tested every 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And if you come up hot, especially as an officer like I was, your career's done. And,
so in the military, at least, those guys are all natural because they're getting.
You'd like to think so, but when you go overseas, it's a little easier and stuff. But
so they're not tested as frequently.
Yeah, not that, but it's just that I'm not going to go there. But you get
We're getting a little inside scoop here on the military, but I don't know. There might be something going on. Not quite sure, but
you get piss tested, and you got to stay clean. Okay. But what's the whole point of it all? I mean,
they're going to start doing that to me after the show today. every 2 weeks now, they're going to.
Like anything in whatever theater you're in, whether it's business or working out or anything else, steroids is a means to go from one level to another level faster than you should. There's a lot of growth that comes along with working out, not just physical, but the mental aspect. To say, hey, here I am, fat boy, day one, and I transform myself into something. I achieved the goal, and with that comes a lot of mental, toughness, which I think is important because, when you go in the business world, you can't take a pill to jump up to CEO, You've got to know that, hey, I can start from here, and with hard work and diligence, I can get to that next level. Steroids teaches you how to cheat the system.
Well, actually, maybe some of those people went into business because then when you hear about Enron and WorldCom and
maybe so, right?
Yeah, there is a little bit of that cheating going on there.
But there's nothing like, for people that are serious about working out and stuff, once you get the results, it's not a matter of if and when, but if you can fall in love with the pain of the workout, and
fall in love with the pain.
Crazy.
Okay, I like that. That's a good quote. Fall in love with the pain.
Yeah, it is somewhat of a natural high, and if you can forget about what the mirror is telling you look like, if you can fall in love with the process.
I broke the mirror lately. I'm not looking at that damn thing until that scale says 180 again. Then I'll look back in the mirror. But
yeah, if you fall in love with that process, the results are going to come, and it's just not if, just a matter of when. And
but now, okay, if you can do this all naturally, like you said, with cardio and your workout and nutrition and stuff, but I'm curious, do you use some of these, supplements or, legal stuff?
I do.
Okay, what kind of supplements?
All I use is protein.
Protein, okay.
And then when it comes closer to a shoot and stuff, I'll use a fat burner or something, maybe some water retention pills just to get rid of the water.
So you mean like protein powder when you say protein or something
Right.
like that? Okay.
I weigh 195. I try to get 250 grams a day in.
Wow, 250 grams.
And you can't do that with just eating normal food. It's just not there. You just be eating all day. So you take shakes and bars and everything else.
Oh, so you do eat the shakes and bars?
Right.
Okay.
And
because some people say to me, because I like those. Actually, you know what? I honestly think that those bars taste better than candy bars.
Well, a lot of them do. You got to be careful.
Yeah, I can eat some of those bars. Yeah, but then people say to me, "Oh, that's crap," or "It's all carbs and stuff." But I thought, hell, they taste good.
There's a lot of bars out there right now that is basically Snickers with 30 grams of protein. Be careful on what bars you're using.
So you don't
look
eat
at the carbs
ones
on them. Yeah, the fats aren't that bad. I mean, it's better to eat some fats than the carbs.
How many grams of protein and how many grams of carbs should it have?
Most of these bars have got 30 grams of protein.
30 grams. Okay.
Yeah, but.
Well, this is Greg Plitt, fitness model. Thanks for being here today, Greg.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time. Okay, we'll start doing those crunches and those abs. God, I'm getting depressed.